All right, so it is the 17th. It's St. Patrick's Day. This is the second of the machine learning overview and tutorial sessions. This will be more tutorial than overview, okay? So we're going to, because we're about to release here in the next probably Wednesday or Thursday. All right, so I want to go through kind of exactly what the pieces are of the system, what that installation process looks like, what the weekly update process looks like, and then how do you use the system. We'll do an overview of how to use it, and then next Saturday we'll get into a lot more detail. Okay. And so Larry's question is, since I do weekly updates, what happens if I can't or stop supporting it? That would be bad, okay? Because you need, the idea here, what you're seeing on screen, is that we take last week's data, we add it to the big collection of data we have going back several years, and we recreate the model so that we're always running with the latest set of data, and with the understanding that the machine learning systems will get better and better the more data they're given. Okay, so every week, we're going to go through this in a minute, every week you're going to get a new model that you're going to install and start using it. Now, you don't have to use last week's model. You can use the previous week or the week before. I would expect that it would eventually get out of date. All right, and if that's the case, then you're going to start getting predictions that aren't matching to the patterns that you're seeing in the live data. So if I stop supporting it, then you could probably run for a while, but eventually you'd have to stop, I think. Okay. Al says, it's my understanding that your system is using an advanced spreadsheet via AT Sierra chart. So yeah, Al, what the piece that I built is the machine learning system and the integration between Sierra chart and that system. So there's actually a different slide for that. We can start there. That's here. Maybe. No. Let's just do it this way then. Here we go. No. Here. So the rectangle on the left is the very sophisticated machine learning system that is will be sitting on your computer. All right. There's a custom study that I've written in Sierra Chart that collects the data it needs and formats it in a certain way, and then sends it to the machine learning system, which does a lot of work on it and then makes a prediction. It does this very, very quickly, in under a millisecond. It then sends the prediction back, all right, and now just Sierra Chart's regular spreadsheet study for trading takes over. Okay, so it would behoove you to get good or to spend time understanding how Sierra Chart spreadsheet system works. I've set it up to do what I want it to do, and you can use that, and you'll be just fine. You may discover you want to make some alterations. That's fine. If you're capable, go ahead and do that. You also have some choices about Sierra Chart's order types. You may want to change the way that you manage, or rather, you change the way that Sierra Chart system manages the orders. Okay. It's perfectly reasonable to have the system produce a prediction and place the order for you with stops and targets, and then you just move them around if you want to. You can do that. That's fine. Sierra Chart will support that. But my piece is the custom study, send the data, make a prediction, send it back, and then Sierra Chart takes over. Okay, that's the piece that I built. All right. What happens every Friday is I take the last week's data, and there's a somewhat lengthy process to add it to the previous set of data, and then retrain the systems. In fact, the NQ and ES just finished about an hour ago for last week's data. So I'll be going through there's another set of tests I do to make sure that there's nothing stupidly wrong, and then I'll publish those. All right. So it's this green rectangle here in the lower right that just finished. All right. I did the training. I got a new model, and now what'll happen is it'll go up onto a download page, and you can come get it. All right. So every Sunday you're going to come get that and install it for the next day. If you don't, the world's not going to end. You're just going to run with the model from the previous week. Okay. The differences are likely very small, but collectively over time they'll be big. All right. So it's not you don't need to panic. All right. If you're late, you can install it on Monday or Tuesday. That's fine. You'll just run on Monday and Tuesday with the model that's from the previous week. Okay. So let's get into some details here. Whoops, let me get rid of that. So if you look here on the left, all right, and then on the left and the lower left this is just a folder that I have right here on my desktop. Okay, and you're going to create a similar folder as part of your installation, and you're going to open up that folder, and it's this here. All right. And let's go through the pieces that are in here. All right. So the first 8 documents are related to models. All right. There's a set of 4 files for each market. Okay. There's 3 models and something called a normalization factor file. All right. So in this case, they're listed alphabetically. The first one listed is the normalization factor file. It is tied to that model. That's why there's a date. All right, so you don't want to use, last month's normalization factor file with this week's model. That's a bad idea. All right, they're tied together. All right, then there's 3 files that end in .h5. Those are the actual machine learning models. All right, this is where sort of the pattern matching magic happens. All right, there's one for pullback longs, there's one for pullback shorts, and there's one for turns. All right, and so if I added, say, a breakout behavior, there would be a 4th one. Okay, these are the files that you're going to replace every week for each market. Okay, so if I add CL, there'll be 4 more. A long model, a short model, a turn model, and then a normalization factor file. All right. I want to stress that it's not difficult. They're going to come as a package in a zip file. You're going to dump it into this folder. You're going to extract it, and you're done. Okay. But don't screw around with it. Make sure that you've got the normalization factor file has the same date as the pullback long and short and turn model file. Okay. This is related to how the data gets massaged or transformed before it's given to the machine learning system for the prediction. And the reasons are technical and beyond the scope of today's discussion. All right. So that's it. From your perspective, it's very simple. Every week, you're going to get a new set of these files, 4 for each market. You dump them in this folder, which you'll have already created during your installation process, and you're done. You're ready to go. Okay. There's one additional thing, and that's this file down here, which has a .yaml extension. It's just a fancy configuration file. All right, so let's open that up and take a look at that so you can see what's happening in there. What this file does is it just tells the server, the machine learning server, what models to use and where to find them. Okay? And so what you see listed is, let's skip the first part. Let's just look at symbols. Okay? Under these symbols, there's ES, and then there's these 4 files listed. Okay? And you can see the file names. These are going to match what's in the directory. So earlier I said every week you're going to get a zip file that's got a bunch of model files in it. It's also going to have a new config file in it, because that config file is going to point to the new names. Okay, because the dates will have changed on those names. What this allows you to do is it allows you to change the configuration actually and run with a previous model if you want to run some tests or comparisons. Okay, so I could tell it, hey, do a replay using last month's model file, as long as I kept that file. I can just point to that in this file. Okay, so every week you're going to get 4 files per market and a new configuration file, and you're going to dump them in this directory. Okay, that directory will already have this predicted.exe in it, all right, which you'll have put in there as part of your installation. Okay. Do you move the previous files? You don't have to, because the configuration file will get overwritten and it will point to the new file, so it doesn't matter. But as a matter of practice, I do. I just like to keep things organized. So what I do is I create a new folder with this date in it. It'll be Friday's date. So these are, because we're starting, it's not exactly Friday's date. So I would just do this. This is what I would do. 03, last Friday was the 9th, 09. And I would just take all the old ones and stick them in there. Okay, just because I like to stay organized. You could delete them. You could leave them there. It doesn't matter. They take up a couple megabytes each per market. Okay. I'm looking at questions. Hang on, gang. Does it take 4 files for each E-mini? History of up, down, or sideways? Well, the models are, you need to go watch last week's session, Al, because that question's answered. Each model is a different market behavior in that market. Okay, so pullback longs, pullback shorts, and turns. If I'm not trading the ES, can I delete the ES section from the config file without crippling the server? So yes. All right. So what'll happen is, if you're only trading NQ, the server will start up and it'll load the models for the ES and the NQ. The ES just won't get used, so it won't hurt anything, Kent. But if you want to, you can come into here and edit this and just yank that out like that, and now you'll be fine. Okay. You're not saving yourself anything. Maybe 30 seconds on startup. That's all. It doesn't hurt anything. It takes up a little bit of memory. All right. But the point of this is that you can do exactly what you described. I'm only trading the NQ. I don't care about this ES thing. I'm going to take it out. Okay, that's fine. Can you just replace the old files with the new? Well, yes and no, because they have different names. So they won't replace the old ones. The names are different because there's a date in the name. And the date is there to help you understand how much, through what date does this model include the data for. All right, so you can see here on screen, as I've been doing updates and testing and things, the date is the 11th for NQ and it's the 12th for ES. But moving forward now, that'll be Friday's date. So like the ones that I'm producing right now will have the date 0316, and then next week we'll have 0323, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Multiple markets can be run at the same time, which is this is actually the last change I was just testing the last few days live. Okay. This is why we have this here. So if I'm able to run CL on Monday, there'll actually be another one here. There'll be CL down here as well. Okay. We'll load up the CL models and predict against them. Bill, every week you're going to replace these model files, basically. Okay, there'll be some training. There'll be a tutorial specifically for that. Whether or not it's video, it'll be video for sure. Whether or not it's an actual document might take a little longer. It's easy to create a video. It takes a lot of time and effort to create a document. Okay, so at the beginning here, you're just replacing these files every week, and those model files and that .yaml file, and then you're good to go the next day. Okay. The other information here for those of you that are maybe a little more technical. In general, just don't touch what's up here under general. But port is the communication channel that the computer system is using for Sierra Chart and the server to talk to each other. That's just leave it alone. Only if you're advanced would you mess with that. Okay. Model dir means where are the models? What directory are they in? And // means the current directory. So just leave that alone. Okay. It means I expect to find the models in the same directory the executable is sitting in. That's what this means, // Okay. But in general, just don't mess with it. Okay, so that's the models and the configuration file. Those are the things you're going to replace every week. All right, every week you're going to come download that and put them in there. You'll be ready for the next day. Very, very simple process. Just copy them in. Download, unzip, copy. All right. The executable, this .exe file, this is the actual server. Okay, it's a 50 megabyte file, and it's a simple copy process to install it on your system. You don't have to go through an installer. There's nothing like that. You're going to get a file, and you're going to create a directory just like I've done here. You can put it anywhere you want. I don't care. But I have mine sitting on the desktop just because it's easy. I called it TRT Machine Learning. The name of the executable is here. That might change, but it'll be the only executable that you're given, and you just copy it here. It's that simple. All right. This will get updated periodically. Okay, and so in the download that you get, you want to pay attention to that. There'll be a README file in the download that says, what's in the download. Most of the time, it's just your model files. But particularly here at the beginning, I may be releasing updates to the server that are either adding functionality or correcting issues that we see. All right. So I'll do the best I can to communicate that out to you in lots of different ways. But mostly, the download file, there'll be a README there, and it'll say, hey, replace the executable. All right. The other two pieces of this are the DLL that implements the custom study. So hold on just a moment, please. The question is, can you add a date to the name of the executable file so we know which one we have? That is a very reasonable suggestion. Let me think about how to do that, Brian. Whether it's a date or a version number. We certainly have an internal versioning system. That's a good point. Other questions? Since the CL rolls every month, do you expect any issues with that and the volatility to be an issue? The CL is on the market that it is. The fact that it rolls has nothing to do with the models themselves. You're choosing which contract you're trading on that rollover day. The data in the system it's trained on sees that behavior on those rollover days, so it'll be what it'll be. I'm not sure yet that what I have will work. We'll have to see. The problem with the CL is that it went quiet here a couple years ago, and it's been not too fun to trade. It's only woken up recently, so we'll see. We'll see what kind of solution we get. It's converging right now. It's trying to anyway. I'm hesitant to go back further in time because as the data gets older, the quality of it goes down. I've noticed, and the behavior of that market was radically different back when it was at $100 a barrel. So we'll see what we have, and then we'll work with it from there. Updates by Sierra or Infinity have an impact on your system. They sometimes do. They'll break things where they just won't work. Like currently, the breakout study is broken by the most recent change. So we'll respond to that like we respond to everything else. The DLL that's involved, which is, let me bring that up again, which is this part here. From current site. This custom study is implemented in a file called a DLL. Okay, it's actually inside the rationaltrader.dll, and that just is downloaded automatically. Okay. So once I authorize you, so you're supposed to send me your username. Once that name is authorized, the next time you log in, the rationaltrader.dll will download for you. Okay. That's here. It's this thing right here. Currently, it's a separate deal, but I'll be changing. I'm just going to put it in the Rational Trader DLL. All right. I think. Is that right? Yeah, I'm just going to do that. And then, so you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about installing it. It'll take care of itself. All right. Will you keep us updated if you make improvements to your trade management? Sure. I would actually, I'm hoping to crowdsource that, Robert, and see what other people are doing. Because what I've spent all of my time and energy on machine learning, and is just the absolute bare minimum on the Sierra chart, spreadsheet study, and order types. So I'm currently running a very simple order type and trade management, and I'm going to keep doing that for at least 2 more weeks because I want to control as to compare to what I developed, and then I'll start figuring that out once time will free up after the next couple weeks or so. Because I'm trailing. I don't like the way I'm trailing, frankly. I'm getting taken out too soon, and it's just the way it is. So some of it's the current volatility. It's so volatile that the market will bounce back and it'll bounce enough to get you. Some of it is just that's not a smart way to trail. You're better, the way you want to trail is to let that retracement occur and then move your stop. I don't know how sophisticated or smart the Sierra chart trail methods are for automated trading. Okay, a couple questions here. I have 2 versions of Sierra charts with 2 brokers. Will it work with either or both? Daniel, I just need both usernames to authorize you. You're on the honor system there that it's actually you and not you and your closest friend or something. I haven't seen the touch chase limit work, so I don't know yet what to do about that. Yeah, Dan, you can run other custom studies at the same time. You're running a bunch of Rational Trader ones already, just as part of this system. There's no impact or interaction or conflict between what I'm doing and what some other custom study is doing. What you don't want to do is automated trading on the same symbol from 2 different charts. That's completely outside of my control. That would not be smart at all. You'll completely confuse the system. I'm looking at questions. Are you going to model separately for inventory report day versus the rest of the week? No, I'm not. There's just not enough data, Brian. The thing to do is take the model and then do replays on it for Wednesday and see how it behaves. Now, the system has an ability to stop trading at certain times that you can specify. All right, it's not completely fully featured yet. All right, so in the TRT, this is the DLL. I'm sorry, this is the custom study, TRT ML Predict. Okay, you can see above it, there's a bunch of studies up here. You don't want to touch any of this. I'll actually put a message in here. You don't touch anything above TRT ML Predict. Nothing. Don't touch it. All right. Inside this study, there's some settings. All right. Reversal amount is referring to the zigzag here. Okay. This needs to match the bar height in some form. Okay. So if you change your bar height to 8 ticks from 10, then you really want to change that reversal amount to 16. It should be double. That's important because the machine learning system is trained with a reversal amount that's double the bar height. Okay, so these are the kinds of things that if you're going to start making those kinds of changes, start asking me, what to do. Inside the ML Predict custom study, there's the address port. Some of you may notice that matches the port that's listed in here. Okay. All right. This is how they know to talk to each other. All right. So if you suddenly changed this value here in the configuration file, now they don't know how to talk to each other because it's different over here. All right. You'd have to change them in both places. I'm going to talk about time ranges in a second because that's kind of what spurred this discussion. But first, let's talk about subgraphs descend. I don't have a way to prevent you from changing that, but if you do, you will be very sorry. Don't touch it. Leave it alone. That's the data that gets sent to the machine learning system. It needs to be in the exact order that is in this string. The only reason it's there is that I am still developing and changing things, how I'm doing things. So otherwise, I would not let you have the opportunity to mess with it. All right. If you changed it accidentally, it will just most likely just not work. But if you like change the order of those items, you'll get unpredictable results. All right. Don't touch that. Leave it alone. The only thing in here you should be messing with is this time ranges here. Okay. And this here you can specify what days and what hours, not what days, what hours to trade. So my goal was unattended trading. So I wanted to be able to go 6:35 to 9 o'clock, and that's it. Stop trading. So then I've seen that work perfectly every single day. You can also do something like this. You can go 6:55. So I want to, if you want to honor the blackout, all right, and then start at 7:05, pick up again at 7:05. You could do that. Whoops, that should be a dash. Okay, that would work. A dilemma that someone was bringing up is oil, in particular on Wednesdays, is a market you should stay away from between 7:25 and 7:35. Or when sometimes it's on Thursdays. This is not a daily. This is not specific to each day. That's every single day. So if you're trading oil, you're going to have to deal with that problem, either by manually changing this or just stopping the system, whichever you want to do. All right. This is not actually working completely correctly yet. So as we release here, you need to use a single block. Whoops, that should be 9. A single block of time until I fix it. Probably end of next week. All right. So it'll start. You could turn it on the night before. It won't do anything until 6:35, and then it'll stop at 9. That's worked perfectly. If I want to be able to specify more, different slices of the day, and it's coded in there, but because I changed the underlying design a bit, I have to go back and and put a fix in there. So right now it'll work, it'll stop, but when it starts up again, it's not completely correct for about 6 or 8 bars. So you gotta wait. You need me to fix that there. All right, just keep that in mind for the first week. The time is dependent on what's in your chart. Okay, so whatever's on your chart, Floyd, is a really good question. My chart down here, this chart is the time that study is using. So I don't, however you're setting this time, use that. You can run this on any time you want. Keep in mind, the models are built for a specific market for the morning session. Okay. So if you're going to trade like the whole day or the close or overnight, you better run that in replay first to make sure that you like the results. Okay. I don't know what those results will be. I don't know if they'll be spectacular or horrible. Okay, because I haven't tested that. The first two hours have the most movement, which is why it has the most opportunity, which is why I focused on those. Okay. It's possible that in the future I will expand even the training data set out to the whole day, and maybe even to the entire 24-hour session. That's possible. I can see that happening. It depends on how well the system responds to some changes that need to be made. Ultimately, the problem is that when the markets slow down, how does the order flow look relative to when the markets are very active? Okay. So what I don't want to do is screw up the really profitable time is in the morning. That's when all the opportunity is. I don't want to mess that up by muddying the waters. Okay. And the big issue that we're dealing with, not issue, but the big point of improvement that I'm working on is when the market starts to go sideways, making sure that you're either staying out completely or you're getting at least decent entries. Okay. And the problem with overnight trading and doldrums trading is that the markets are often quiet. It's the first 2 hours of the cash session, whatever your time zone happens to be. It's actually the first 2.5. So it goes from 6:30 to 9 my time in the Pacific Coast. Could you apply the study twice with 2 different time frames? You wouldn't need to do so. You don't want to put the same. Okay, so this is kind of important here. You don't want to put that study on the same chart twice. I actually trap for that error because that's a mistake. All right. If you want to trade for 2 different time frames, then use this time range functionality. All right. You could have 2 different charts with the study on it, trading 2 different time frames. You could do that if you wanted to. You got to be careful because the automated trading system is going to take over and start placing trades. And if you've got two charts trading the same market, it's going to get completely confused. How about allocating a conservative setting to one time frame and a moderate or aggressive setting to another? Gerard, that's a wonderful idea. I didn't implement that feature. How would you do that? The way that you would do that is by launching a separate instance with a different time range and then a different set of codes in that study. So you could do that now. You would just have to you'd have to create a new instance with a different chart. When you get this, install it and start playing with it in simulation and start and replays. Okay, there'll be some instructions on how to do replays. Don't get crazy till you understand how it works, right? Because we're dealing with automated trading. It's going to place trades, so make sure that you're aware of that. All right. So let's look at the spreadsheet study and then see what kind of time we have to look at how would you set it up. Kind of sort of the key things to make sure that you understand when am I going to place trades and when am I not. Okay. This is the spreadsheet study. That's just standard Sierra chart is what that is. Okay. There's a lot in here. This is really confusing. It's really complete. There's a lot of functionality. There's a really steep learning curve. The only thing you should touch in here until you feel like you know what you're doing is this setting down here. Send orders to trade service. Okay. That means send the order to the broker. Send it to Infinity or send it to whoever you have as your broker. Okay. When you're doing simulations and when you're doing internal simulations and replays, this has to be no. Otherwise, it tries to talk to the broker. Okay. So for automated trading, it's yes. Okay. This is the only thing you should change in here. Otherwise, you can mess things up just in terms of it not placing the trades when you want it to. Okay. Until you're comfortable with this. This is a typical Sierra chart. Super powerful, but mega difficult to understand. I have to modify that. You could also change the alert sound on column K and column N. You can see here I've got NQ order placed in the K and the M alert. Okay, the K means buy, the M means sell. All right. It's worth your time to learn how Sierra chart spreadsheet studies work and what the Sierra chart order types are. It's worth doing that, spending the time. It's a painful process because their documentation is not written for a regular human. Okay, so let's go up to here now. The very first thing you do, you should do it like as soon as we're done here, is you go to the trade menu and you put disable auto trading on startup and you make sure this is checked. More important than anything else is that you do this. What this means is that when you open the chart book, it will not start automatically trading. You have to tell it, okay, I'm ready to start automatically trading. All right. So disable auto trading on startup. Don't start trading on startup. Wait for me to tell you. Okay. So do that. So that now you can safely start it up and then decide. Depends on what you're doing, right? Maybe you're running a test. Maybe you're getting ready. Maybe you just want to look at the market. You don't want to start automatically trading on startup. Okay. Audio test. 1, 2, 3, 4. Audio test is fine, Keith. Hang on. Okay. Let's get back to here while Keith works out that issue. All right, so we were talking about make sure that this is set. Disable auto trading on startup. All right, so now I can pick when to start. That also means you got to remember to do that when you want to start trading, all right? You absolutely want it. You do not want to start trading on startup. That's a bad idea. Okay. So the way that this chart here on the right is currently set up is to do automated trading. All right. So the The trade simulation mode here is not checked, is off. Okay. The auto trading enabled for this chart is set. And as soon as I click this button here, now it'll start auto trading. Okay. It's going to auto trade using the parameters I have set in the spreadsheet. All right. And the parameters I have set in my custom study. Okay. So the spreadsheet, remember, you have to have this set. Send orders to trade service. Yes. Okay. I'm going to send the orders to the trade service. I'm going to send the orders to the broker. That's what that means. All right. And then, of course, in here, when am I going to actually make predictions? Between 6:35 and 9. That's what that says. Okay. So those 4 things have to be done. Actually, there's 5 when you think about it. All right. You have to have a time range here. You have to have send orders to trade services. Yes. Okay. You have to have trade simulation mode not turned on. And then both auto trading for the chart and auto trading global are enabled. Okay. So there's 5 things. They're really careful, you can see, to make sure that you're not automatically trading unless you really want to be. Okay. So that's how this chart is set up. Then NQ, if I just left this alone, 6:35 tomorrow morning, it would start sending to the engine, assuming the engine's running, which we didn't cover actually. Okay. So let's do that real quick, and then we'll talk about simulation. So earlier we were looking at this folder here, and we talked about all these files. To start the engine, you just double click on this. Okay. And it's going to take it'll take almost a minute to completely start up because it's got to load a bunch of files. It's loading those model files. All right. It will also create an error file and an info file in this directory, which I can use for debugging if you're having trouble. Okay. So you might hear me tell you, send me the info file or send me the error file, or open it up and look at it and tell me what it says, that kind of thing. There'll be a specific tutorial, Brian, and I'll try to create a document to help you. All right, that's a function. Just documents are hard. They just take more time to create. Do the best I can. I understand what you're asking for. John, it won't release until probably Wednesday or Thursday. Hey, Russell. Okay, still loading. And what you want to see is that. Starting server on port 880, and now you're ready to go. Okay? If 2 things will happen. This will happen. It'll say starting server on port 880, or the window will come up, something horrible has happened, and the window will go away, and it's not started. Then there'll be an error file in here with something in it, or an info file in here with something in it, which will help us understand what happened. Okay. Usually it's just the file, this file's not there and it should be, that kind of thing. I haven't had many problems with it not starting correctly. All right, so let's talk about simulation now and replay. So this is the ES. Let's just use the ES. The ES, you'll notice up here it says sim. Okay, that's because trade simulation mode is on. Okay, this is Sierra Charts trade simulation, not the brokers, not Infinity's. So this is important to understand. When you log in to the broker, you either log into your live account or a demo or the simulation account. If it's a simulation account or a demo account, it'll be blue like this. Okay. So I could still send. I could have Sierra Chart send data, send trades to the Infinity simulator. That would be fine. That would look the same as this here. All right, so on the right here, what I did for 2 weeks prior to going live, everything was exactly the same in this chart on the right. Send orders to trade service, auto trading on. I just logged into the sim environment. And so when we send the orders to the trade service, it's sending it to the Infinity simulator. Okay. If I want to actually place real trades with the real account, I have to log in to the Infinity live account. Okay. You can see that in up here where it's in global settings, data trade service settings. Okay. This will show you, oh yeah, I'm connected to Transact Trading. It's the simulated live connection. Okay. It'll help you understand. All right. Demo live. Okay. But if you want to do like a replay, you don't need Infinity to do a simulation. You can use Sierra Chart Simulator. And that's what this is using here on the left. And if you want to do a replay, then you need to use Sierra Chart Simulator. Okay. So to do that, you would go to Trade Simulation Mode On. Okay. And now, everything that happens in terms of trading is all handled by, it never leaves the Sierra Chart world. It doesn't go out to the broker. It just stays right here. Okay, and you're going to use this because you're going to want to see how things work. You're going to want to do some testing. What's going to happen is you're going to see some action code that you want to take that is not currently in the list, and what you ought to do is go replay that and see how it works across a month's time. It's not just one day. So to do that, you're going to go to Trade Simulation Mode On. Okay. You're still going to have to turn on auto trading now. It's just that the trading is going to occur inside the simulator. Okay. There's one other difference though. Okay. So at this point, I've turned that on. This says, okay, auto trading is enabled for the Sierra Chart Simulator. But there's one other thing you have to do, because the spreadsheet study here is going to try to send it to the trade service. All right. So it's a little complicated. It's a little confusing. It's new. You got to tell it, hey, don't send to trade service. That's why that says no here in the ES, since I'm in simulation on the ES. Okay. So if you want to run a replay, this is what you do. Turn Trade Simulation Mode on. Send orders to trade service. No. Don't send them out. Just send them. Just simulate them internally. And so if we do that, now we can do a replay. All right. So we can go to the chart menu and choose Chart Replay. It's going to give us this little control panel, which is on the wrong monitor. Hold on. It looks like this. Okay. And I do this a lot now because I'm testing things. And here I'm going to say start from, let's do Friday. Start from Friday at 6:30 at this speed. All right. We'll do 30 times normal speed. Okay. And then we just click play. And if the server's running, it'll communicate to the server. You'll get responses back. It'll place trades. It'll do everything like it does live. Okay, I don't remember if I have the server running though. I do. Okay. All right. So let's do this so we can see the server here. So let's do this. We're gonna click. Starting from Friday at 6:30 in the morning, going at 30 times normal speed. Click play. Do you want to clear the simulation data? Yes. And then I'm not exactly sure what this means. Enter processing step in seconds, but I always put 1. Okay. Click OK. And now let me move this. And now what's going to happen is it's going to load up and start. It's going to replay the day from 6:30 at 30 times normal speed. And you can see in the lower left that it's talking to the server, and the server is replying back. And there's code 202. We didn't take that for noise reasons. 201. and then you can just watch it go through. And this allows you to change your settings to see. There we tried to go short and couldn't. You remember we didn't get filled. You can also slow it down because it's going too fast for you to understand what's happening. So, over here, we're telling it 30. Okay, we'll just go back to like double speed. And now it's going to go twice as fast. Now it'll go 10 times as fast. Okay. And then it's keeping track of what's happening. There's a trade activity log you can look at. It's right here. And it's telling you what the stats are, what my profit and loss is. Okay. Again, this is built-in Sierra chart functionality. There's a lot of documentation on it. Worth your time to go learn about it, how it works. I see a flowchart in my future. Hey, Philip. Yes. Maybe I can help you create that. Jan, this recording will be uploaded, and it'll take a few hours to render. Just as a reminder to everybody how to find all these recordings. Everything goes up onto the YouTube channel. The easiest way to get there is to just go to the Rational Trader and go to daily videos, and it'll take you right to the channel. All right. Once you're there, you can bookmark this channel. All right. There's playlists to make things easy to find. So all the daily videos are in the daily video playlist. All right. The main presentation plus what we're doing here now is in the artificial intelligence and machine learning playlist. Okay. There will be installation and training playlists soon as we get going here. Okay. So the basic answer to your question is go to the YouTube channel, and everything that's available is there. Okay. Also worth your time to go through this trading the markets using visual order flow playlist because the data that's being used by the machine to learn is implementing this basic philosophy. Okay. So if you're curious about what we're looking at, you can learn about it there. And you can see it's still trading here. You can see the 201 beautiful short here that I didn't get filled on. So that's something to be thinking about. Do I want to change my my fill strategy? Okay, so let's do that. All right, let's stop and say, all right, I don't want to do a limit entry order offset of 1. I want to do 0. So let's do that. And this is when is this? This is at 7:01. Okay, so let's stop. We're going to go make a change and do a replay. I'm reading Gerard's question, which is really long. Give me a second. You can run a replay on any day that you have data for. So I ran replays for the 3 months of the H contract to test it. All right, it takes a while, but that's what I did. So what I like to do every week is run it. I have a new model, like this week's model. I'll just run it on last week to make sure that there's no major problems, and you can just watch it trade. Watch it trade. It always does better because it's now seen that data. Okay. If it doesn't do better, that's a problem. There's something to think about. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to make a change to our limit entry offset here. So currently, this value here says when you place your order, place it 1 tick back from the close of the bar. All right, and so if it's a down bar, and your closing price is, well, let's look here. In this case here, the particular case we're looking at is right after the news here. So we got a signal on this bar here, okay, and it's we're going to place an order 1 tick off the low of that bar, which is right there. That's where that order is going to get placed. We get touched, but we don't get filled. All right, so I want to change that. let's say I'm going to change it to 0. So I should place an order there, and we get filled there now, and it falls down. All right, so let's do that together. So we're going to change the limit entry offset to 0. In other words, place my order at the close of the bar, not one tick back. All right, and so this is at 7 o'clock. So let's start it a little bit sooner than that. All right, I need to explain one other thing now. So one of the things the server is doing is it's collecting the bars that you send it. Okay, and when we actually make a prediction, we're not making a prediction just on the current bar. We're making that prediction on a whole sequence of bars that lead up to that one. Okay, and it actually needs 12 bars before it can make a prediction. Okay, and so if I want to test this here accurately, I need to count back 12 bars and make sure I'm collecting that. That's kind of the first thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I need to start this about 6:55 in order to get the correct prediction for 7 o'clock here. Okay, it's also a good idea if you're jumping around in time like this to restart the server. So the server is blank. It doesn't have any data already collected in it. So you're not accidentally mixing two different time frames of data. Okay, so you want to, this is something just in a very abstract, more philosophical way you want to think about this. What's happening in the current bar is a function of what's happened before. And so I don't look at only the current bar. I look at the current bar and the previous bars before it. All right, and that helps me understand. That helps the machine get a larger picture of what's happening in the market. Okay, a good example was that late short in the ES where the market was sideways, 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 and it popped up and then ran out of steam and rolled over, and the market the prediction was short. You can very clearly see that pop up is exhaustion. All right, so anyway, make sure you've got 12 bars, all right? And it's a good idea to restart the server. So how would I do that? To kill the server, just close it. And now it's dead. Just close the window. All right? So now we're going to restart our server and rerun our test to see how it works with my new setting. So let's start this up. And again, this is going to take a minute or so. And what we expect to see now is that the order gets placed at the pink line, not at the blue line. Okay? And we should get filled. All right. Now, what you would do is, if you wanted to make that change for real, you should make that change and then run a replay like this for 20 trading days and see what the differences are. So that's what I do. I take the current set, my current settings, and I'll run it for 20 days. And then I'll make the change and I'll run that for 20 days and look at the result and look at the comparison. Okay. This is a tool to really help you make a good evaluation of a change that you want to make. So many times people see something in the market, they go, oh, this is a great signal, and they just start trading it. They've got no idea that particular setup only works that one day, and all other times it failed miserably. Okay. Starting server. So this is ready to go. We're going to start this at 6:55. Ready? Play. Clear replay data? Yes. Processing time in seconds is 1. Go. And you'll notice we started at 6:55 now. We didn't start at 6:30 like before. I'm going too fast. Let me slow it down here. Actually, we're fine. We're going at 10x speed right now, but I'll slow it down once we get to the that actual trade. Okay, so now we're at 5x. And now we're at 2x. So we should get an order placed here, but I didn't see one get placed. Oh, you know why? We didn't place because we're too sideways. So we're going to have to cover that next week, because we have a mechanism in place to kind of keep us out of the chop. All right, so there's two things we got to cover next time. Let me stop this. We need to cover, actually, let's do it right now, and then we'll call it a day here. Let me close that. So here, this is the spreadsheet. So you get to it by, in this chart book is this chart, okay, the ES-ML chart. Right next to it is a feeder chart. This is the chart that supplies the order flow momentum data. So you're never going to touch this chart. Just leave it alone. All right. But then over here on the right is the spreadsheet. All right. And this can look really daunting and scary because it is. All right. Sort of true to form for a Sierra chart. All right. And what you're allowed to touch, if you don't know anything, the only things you're allowed to touch are in the H column. Okay. Limit entry offset, cancel order if not filled, the noise filter, and then your maximum loss and gain, and then these purple codes. So let's talk about each of those now, and then I'll try to describe what we're doing with this noise filter. Okay. So limit entry offset is how many ticks back from the close of the bar should I place the limit order. Okay. In the NQ, this is 1. The tests very clearly showed that 1 was the best number. All right, you are going to miss some trades, but if most people will get more conservative, they'll do like 5 ticks or something. You end up missing so many trades that you're not profitable. All right. The one thing to remember, the machine learning system is trained on data where it is trying to find that spot where the market's going to move 30 ticks in one direction before it moves 10 ticks in the other for the NQ. And for the ES, it's 12 and 4. Okay? That generally means that if you're not getting filled on that pop that happens, that you missed it, and you should not try to get filled on the retracement and then go in again. Let that retracement happen and get a new prediction is kind of the approach you need to take. All right? This is how long to wait. How many bars can draw after I place the limit order before I cancel the order. In the NASDAQ, that's a 1. If I don't get filled on the next bar, I cancel the order. In the ES, because there's only 4 ticks per point, and I'm using a 3-tick range bar, and it's a less volatile market. It needs to be 2 here. I was missing good trades because I had it set to 1. All right. The noise filter we're gonna talk about in a minute. We're gonna come back to that. Okay. Max daily loss or gain. If I hit $110 loss, stop trading. That's what that says. So you can get to 105 and take another trade, but if you hit 110 or more, it will not take another trade that day. Okay. The number below it is 400. If I achieve that profit or better, stop trading. Don't take any more trades. So I put this in because I had days where I was getting 20, 25 points in the NASDAQ and then giving back too much. I didn't like that. So I put that in. All right. I'll get to your question in a second, Daniel. Hang on. All right. In the purple are the specific behaviors that you're willing to take. Okay, so we need a formal tutorial video on this, which I'll create for you. But basically, this says of the turning behaviors, there's a spectrum between conservative and aggressive, or noisy and stronger, or weaker and stronger. Which of those am I willing to take? Success and fail. For the pullbacks, it's the same thing. There's the aggressive pullback, the moderate pullback, the conservative pullback. Each one has a different code, so you can get very granular on what you want to do. All right, I'll get a tutorial out to you. There is a spreadsheet that has all this very well defined. I wasn't able to get to it today, unfortunately. There is up here in the upper left. There's you can change to sheet 1. All right, and I have a list of codes here that are in like a default list that you can use for conservative, moderate, and aggressive. If you just copy this and then paste it here, then you're now using those codes. Okay, so you're allowed to change that. And then we want to talk about noise filter, but let me get these questions first. Is that, I don't understand your question, Al. Can you set it up with continuous contract data and backtest prior contracts? Yes, Daniel. Though I actually did the formal, I didn't use the continuous contract. I actually loaded in the M contract. I loaded in the H contract, and I loaded in the Z contract. But you could just use continuous contract and do that, yes. Where do you set the number of contracts to trade? I don't know. That's a good question. Where is that? It's in here somewhere. I'm only doing one, and I'm set up to trade. This is designed for someone that's new and has a small account, so they're only going to be trading one. But where is that number? Oh, I'm sorry. It's not here. It's in the, it's very silly of me. It's here. It's in your, the order that's going to get placed. It's listed here. Okay. So you're telling it how many contracts to trade, and then what the targets and stops are, all this stuff here. I'm not going to teach this. Mostly because I just don't know it that well. But this is where you do that. You specify the quantity here, and then your targets and stops have to match. There is a setting in the spreadsheet study that says don't place another order if you exceed a certain number of contracts that you've defined as the max. And I'm not sure where that is. So you can, if you have the system is currently set up that you place one order, and if you have an order in the market, it will not place another one. Okay, that's how it's currently set up. If you want to be more aggressive than that, knock yourself out. But I'm not doing that. Okay, so for me it doesn't matter. It's typical Sierra chart. It's super powerful. You can tell it. Place as many orders as you like, but don't exceed more than 6 contracts in the market. I just don't know how to do it in the spreadsheet. Okay, what's currently set up is if you have one order in the market, don't place any more. Okay, you're gonna place an order. That order is gonna if it gets filled, that trade is gonna play out. Any new orders that come in will not be placed. That's how this is currently designed. Okay, you don't have to keep it that way, but that's what I've done here. Okay, I don't know what Prodigio is, Al. The max daily loss gain, is it per market? So okay, so there's a couple questions here. This is the max loss in one day. Yes. Now the question that Daniel's asking, is that per market or is that global? I am not sure of that answer. I believe there is a setting that says use global P&L somewhere. That's a really good question. I don't know the answer. We'll have to research that, Daniel. I've seen it. I've seen it somewhere where it says use global profit and loss. Okay. I don't know where it is. I'm not sure if it's up here. Let me get out of here. If it's up here in this trade menu or if it's in the spreadsheet study. Again, it's worth your time to go figure this stuff out, and certainly run it in simulation before you start making changes. All right, what I've been running live is working. If you start making changes, that's fine. If you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, for the love of God, simulate it first. Okay, so let's talk about the noise filter, and then we're going to call it a day. I'll try to get out a tutorial on the behaviors and actions. Okay, so that because we didn't have time to do that today. The noise filter. What we're trying to do here is stay out of sideways markets. Okay, and I'm trying to do that with the machine learning system itself. It's one of the reasons that it needs 12 bars. It helps it see that the market is going sideways. But it's still not good enough, in my opinion. And so I'm just using a very traditional moving average with a slope to help me understand, is the market going sideways or not? Which is actually, it's actually working very well. Though it's not, to me, it's not the final answer. So let's look at exactly what it's doing, okay? You can actually see it. Let's look at, where's the trade that didn't go off that we wanted to go off? It was here, so this one here. All right, so I believe what's happening here is that the market looks at that and says it's too sideways to trade. Okay, which is a reasonable thing when we as a human look at it. I don't like the fact that I missed a nice trade on a good signal. So let's look at it. So what we're doing is this moving average up here is applied. Okay. All right. It's just an 89 period exponential moving average. And what we're doing is that we're looking at the slope of this line. And if the slope is too flat, then we say the market is sideways, stay out. Okay. That's all we're doing. The actual slope is calculated using this study angle study. Okay, so let's unhide that. That's going to display something down here. Okay, and so when we say noise filter of 2 over here, we say noise filter of 2. What that means is that this study angle has to be greater than 2 or less than -2. But if it's in between, you're not going to take a trade. So you can see, whoops, you can see the scale over here. Over here, there's 2, and there's -2 down here. So when it's in between there, it's not going to take a trade. Now you can change that value to your heart's content. That's why it's implemented that way, because some people want to be more aggressive than others. All right, I'm using 2 in the ES. I'm using 6 in the NQ. All right, so in order to get that trade, I would need to bring my study angle to, down. I need to bring my noise filter down to this level, right? Hold on. Right there, if that's less than 2 currently, it won't place the trade. All right. So if I want to do that, I got to get below that level. So okay, that's reasonable to do. Go model that. So change it to change this value to 1 or 1.1, whatever you want. Okay, and now run it again. If we replay it now, it will it'll take that trade. Okay, but it might take others as well. So that's why you have to go see. Okay, well, what's the impact of that change across the entire spectrum? All right. Do I end up taking a lot more trades that end up getting stopped out because the market's going sideways, and so that's a really bad idea in general? Or does it have no impact, or does it help? I don't know the answer. Go replay, and you'll know. Okay. All right. Okay, that's it for today. I am going to I'm going to put out a really sort of the first of a series of tutorial videos on these action codes and what they mean. Okay, so I'll put that. I'll get that out this weekend. Probably sometime tomorrow. All right, and then so make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel, so you'll see that upload happen. There'll be a new playlist for installation and training. Okay.